Hey, wake up, little one. A soft voice tugs me out of sleep like mom whispering me awake for breakfast. Something taps my head, light, but still annoying. Tap, tap, tap. I groan and keep my eyes squeezed shut. The ground is mossy and squishy under me, but it's nothing like my bed at home. Another tap, harder, this time. Come on, girlie, we gotta go. My eyes pop open, and I blink up at a big white rabbit towering over me. Amby's long ears are tied back with a red handkerchief to keep them out of her face. Her apron has pink and yellow flowers on it, and she smells sort of like sweet bread, even out here. Her big brown eyes look worried, and her whiskers are twitching fast. I push myself up, rubbing my face, my head still feeling a little foggy. That nap was cozy, like being wrapped in a warm blanket, but it was way too short. I'm not a baby, Amby, I grumble, my voice scratchy. I told you I didn't need a nap. I cross my arms and scowl a little. She made me lie down anyway, saying I looked exhausted after sleeping all lumpy on the forest floor last night. Amby's ears twitch, even while they're tied back. She wrings her paws together. I know, Louisa, but you were worn out, and now... She stops, her nose lifting as she sniffs the air. Her eyes narrow, and she gives a small and worried nod. I felt a rumble just a moment ago. The void's getting closer, and I think it's starting to take the forest. We gotta hurry. My stomach twists, and I jump to my feet, my one sneaker sinking into the mossy ground. The forest used to feel like a secret clubhouse, with trees hugging me in a tight circle. Now it feels a little spooky. Some branches look bent and dark, like the void is making them sick or something. A fluttery feeling squeezes my chest, like when I have to talk in front of my class. Are there any berries left? I ask when my stomach growls louder than my thoughts. The juicy red berries from earlier are gone, and I'm starving. Amby's whiskers droop, her face going sad. No, sorry, Louisa. She pats my shoulder with a soft paw. I'm not the best forager, she says, sounding a little ashamed. But when we get to Floria, I'll bake you a pie, strawberry, blueberry, or even my favorite bobo berry as big as your head. Her voice brightens, like she's trying to cheer both of us up. I nod, picturing a huge, gooey pie. Better be giant, I say with a small smile, trying to sound brave, but my voice shakes a little. The forest's too quiet, except for a low hum I can feel in my chest. I don't like it. I think that void thing is close. It's like I can feel it even if I can't see it yet. I dust off my jeans and glance at Amby's handcart nearby. It's small, like one of those plastic kid shopping carts I used to push when I was little. Amby, let me pull it, I say, stepping toward it. It'll be super easy. Amby looks at me, nervous but thinking about it. You sure it wouldn't be trouble? I can pull it, been pulling it for years. She pats the quilt covering the cart's contents with her bandaged paw. Something clatters softly underneath. Her voice sounds like she'd love the help, but feels embarrassed to ask. Yeah, totally. I can pull it, no problem, I say, grabbing the handles and stepping in front of the cart. It's lighter than it looks, even with all that stuff inside. I have to bend my knees so I don't lift it too high and accidentally dump things out. On Amby's hind legs, the cart fits her perfectly, but for me, it really is more like pulling a toy. Just let me know if it gets to be too much, Amby says sweetly, her voice full of thanks. I nod, giving her a tiny smile and follow her through the trees. Before my nap, she said Floria's only a few hours away. I don't know what time it is, but even after sleeping, it still feels like it could be early in the afternoon. Sunlight is trickling down through the treetops in little patches, making little spots of gold on the forest ground. Amby hops ahead confidently, leading us over knotted roots, under fallen trunks, and around huge, mossy boulders. She moves like she's done this 1,000 times. As I pull the cart, my feet shuffle through the dirt. I glance down, one sneaker, one grimy white sock. The poor sock's trying its best to protect my foot, but it's not great. My left leg has a long scar down the side, a reminder of the deep cut I got crossing that creek. I sigh, thinking about how I got here, how I met Ambi. It started when that scary, cloudy portal spat me out like a stormy mouth coughing me up into this world. I landed high in the treetops, tangled in branches and leaves, and my hair was a total mess. My heart was pounding so hard it hurt. I didn't know where I was. I figured that Ivory got sucked into this world too, so I had to find her. I had to. Climbing down wasn't easy. Branches scratched my arms, and when I finally jumped to the ground, I messed up the landing. My left hip and elbow slammed into the dirt, now bruised and sore, and the air was knocked out of my lungs. I just lay there gasping, but nothing was broken, thank goodness. I pushed myself up and started walking through the forest, calling for Ivory until my throat felt scratchy and dry. Then I reached a wide creek. The water was fast and cold. I tried to cross, but my foot got wedged between two rocks. I yanked, and I could feel my leg scraping against a sharp rock under the water. Warm blood mixed with the water streaming around my calf. Between my struggle and the creek's rough enough current, my shoe was pulled from off my foot, and it floated downstream until it disappeared. Panic exploded in my chest. I shouted for help, for Ivory, for anyone. That's when Ambi showed up. She was nearby and heard me screaming. She hopped over fast, a big white rabbit in an apron, and I just stared, stunned, as she waded right into the freezing water. She wrapped her paws around my ankle and tugged, not caring how cold it was, and finally yanked my foot free. Ambi scraped her paw badly on the rocks. Now it's hidden under that bandage she wears. "Hold still. You'll be okay," Ambi said, her voice calm but worried as she noticed the blood running down my leg. She pulled a small jar from her pouch, the word Starlim Nectar scribbled on it in wobbly letters. "This'll fix you up." She smeared a glowing, sticky blue sap on my cut, then wrapped it with a couple of big, soft leaves. Her injured paw shook while she wrapped me up. "That's the last of it, but you need it more," she muttered. I winced, waiting for it to burn, but the sting faded fast, almost like the pain was being soaked up and pulled away from my leg. Ambi guided me to the bank, and we sat for a minute, my socks squishing with water. Curious, I peeled back the wrapped-up leaves. That deep cut was gone. Already a scar. "What?" I squeaked, my voice going high. "It's gone. The cut. It's like it never happened." Ambi chuckled, her round eyes twinkling. "Yeah, that's Starlim Nectar for you. Pretty great, right? Comes from Starlim flowers. Our foragers find them in special spots in the Great Forest and sell the nectar. Very hard to find and really expensive, but it's definitely worth having a little at all times." She sighed, tapping the empty jar. "I just wish I had a little more." I stared between my leg and the big talking rabbit, my heart racing. This place was so weird, but also kind of amazing. Maybe this talking rabbit could help me find Ivory. And Mom. Ambi said my shoe was gone for good, but that someone in Floria could make me a new one. That made me feel better. My foot isn't much bigger than a rabbit half my size. They could definitely figure it out. Ambi's been so nice even though she hurt her paw helping me. I feel bad now for getting grumpy about the nap. I miss Ivory, I miss Mom. But pulling this cart makes me feel like I'm doing something that matters, like I'm getting closer to finding them. The trees begin to thin out a bit, and the forest suddenly opens into a wide clearing. The trees stop, and a huge meadow stretches out in front of us, all green and wavy under the sun. At the far end, a big wooden bridge crosses a river, with a fancy archway sign above it. I squint, trying to read it as we get closer. The cart rattles behind me, and Ambi hops faster, her ears bouncing in her little tied-up handkerchief. As we cross the meadow, the sign finally comes into focus. "Welcome to Floria," in big, curvy, carved letters. Underneath, smaller letters read, "West Noctiveer." I don't know what Noctiveer means, but it sounds important, like Floria is part of something bigger, with lots of other villages and rules. The bridge feels sturdy. It's made of dark wood and big metal bolts. The railing comes up to my chest and is carved with flowers and vines, all twisty and pretty. I lean over to look down at the wide, calm river that flows under us. The river isn't as wild as the creek I crossed before. Up the river, I can see a couple of boats bobbing in the water, with some fishing nets and poles sticking out of them. I bet they bring fish back for the village. Do the fish talk too? At the bridge's other end, another archway matches the first one, like a twin gate welcoming us in. Past the gate, Floria's rooftops start to peek into view. These cute, cottage-like buildings with pointy roofs and chimneys. They're bigger than I expected for creatures like Ambi, almost like normal houses back home. My heart jumps. Maybe Ivory's here. Maybe she's waiting in one of those houses, or someone knows where she went. The humming feeling is gone, but I still sense it, like a shadow in my mind. I grip the cart handles tighter as my bruised hip aches. "Ambi," I ask, my voice sounding small, "you really think they'll have shoes my size in Floria?" Ambi turns to me, her apron fluttering in the soft breeze. "Oh, sweetie, they absolutely will. Floria's got clever crafters, and there are much bigger animals around than humans." She smiles, but her eyes flick back toward the forest, like she's still watching for the void. I nod and keep pulling the cart, my sock getting dirtier with every step. The bridge leads into a cobblestone street, but it's quiet, like creepy quiet. No animals are scurrying around, no voices chattering. The cottages and shops along the path look cozy, with flower boxes full of all sorts of purples, yellows, reds, all blooming. But the cottage windows are dark, and some shutters are even closed. Ambi slows down, whiskers twitching. "That's odd," she murmurs. "Maybe everyone's at the town square. Could be a meeting. What with the void on the move again and all." She hops forward, but her ears stay perked, like she's waiting for someone to shout, "Surprise!" or "Run!" We stopped in front of a bakery. The wooden sign above the dark green door simply says "Bakery" in loopy cursive. It's adorable. Potted white daisies and lavender sit on both sides of the doorway, their sweet smell mixing with the air. A big front window sparkles so clean I can see myself in it. Inside, though, the bakery looks dark and empty. No bread on the shelves. No one behind the counter. "Park the cart here for now, Louisa," Ambi says, gesturing to a flat spot on the cobblestones. "Let's bring the ingredients inside." I nod and pull the cart to a stop. Ambi lifts the blanket covering its contents, revealing sacks of flour, jars of glistening honey, bundles of vanilla beans, and plump berries with deep bluish skins that shimmer like jewels. My mouth waters instantly. But then something clicks in my brain. Wait, hold on. I stare at the piles of flour and jars and berries like they've betrayed me. I thought you said we had to forage around for food out there. You had all this stuff in the cart the whole time. Ambi freezes mid-jar lift, her ears slowly drooping. "Oh, um," she lets out a tiny, guilty laugh and pats the cart with her uninjured paw. "These are my bakery supplies. I sell most of this in Floria, and the rest I use to bake for the village. It's not food I can just nibble on during a trip." I narrow my eyes, still skeptical. "But there's so much. You had honey and berries and flour and whatever those little dark red blobs are." "Bobo berries," she says softly, ears still drooped. "These ingredients keep Floria fed. And me too. They're part of my livelihood." She wrings her paws, looking genuinely sorry. "If I used them for us on the road, I wouldn't have much for my shop when I got back. I sigh, some of my half-fake annoyance melting. You could have told me, I say. Amby's whiskers twitch. I didn't want to disappoint you. I know I'm not the best forager, and you were hungry. I tried to find berries. I really did. I look at the shiny jars and flour sacks again, feeling a little silly for snapping. It's okay, I mumble. I'm just starving. Amby chuckles. I promise I'll bake that pie for you, sweetie, she says. But for now, I think I have something that'll hold you over. She pulls out an old-fashioned looking key from a pouch in her apron and unlocks her shop door. I'm greeted with the incredible and welcome smell of bread and something sweet. She hops behind the counter toward the back, where a glass display case holds only a couple of lonely loaves. She pulls out a crusty loaf, slices off a thick piece, and smears it with a ruby red jam from a jar. Here, she says, handing it to me along with a small jar of milk and a soft smile. Thanks, I mumble before practically inhaling it. The bread's slightly stale. She probably baked it a couple days ago before leaving for Marshing, but it's still amazing. The crust crackles and the jam is sweet and fruity in a way I don't recognize, but absolutely love. Maybe I'm just starving. Maybe Ombi's the best baker in the universe. Either way, I scarf it down, licking jam off my fingers in the process. We finish unloading the cart, stacking flour and jars and berries where Amby points. I pop the last bite of bread into my mouth, the sweetness sticking to my tongue. Amby dusts off her paws, then winces again when she bumps her bandaged one. Let's head to the town square, she says. It's not unusual for Floria to gather there, but I'm sure they called an emergency meeting due to the void. Her voice tightens. I swallow as I feel my heart thumping faster. Maybe Ivory will be there, I say quietly. Maybe she's why they're meeting. Amby's ears twitch and she smiles softly. If a human's back in the village, we'd surely see them at a town meeting, she says, her words catching me off guard. Back? Like humans have been here before. My hope rises just a little. I wipe my hands on my hoodie and follow Amby back outside, toward the silent cobblestone streets and whatever waits in the town square. Hopefully, my family.